Hello everyone, I am Amrit Kaur, Assistant Professor in School of Management Studies, CTU University. I am here to give you a presentation on consumer motivation. This topic will help you understand what motivation is, what is nature and types of different motives, dynamics of motivation, types of needs and motivational theories. Before starting the motivation, first we understand where motivation stands in whole consumer behavior concept. What basic consumer behavior is? The behavior that an individual predicts or shows while buying any kind of product and service. And when he buys any kind of product and service, his behavior is influenced by a number of factors. And one such factor is individual personal determinants. And in these personal determinants, motivation, personality, perception, learning, and attitudes are the foremost components, of which motivation is part. So what basically motivation is? Motivation is the driving force within an individual that impels him to do certain kind of action. There are a number of characteristics for motivation. For example, it is a psychological process. It means it plays with the psychology of the individual. A motivated individual will behave differently as compared to a non-motivated person. Similarly, a motivation can be positive and can be negative. A person can be motivated from the positive activities as well. He can be motivated from the negative consequences as well. And third is it is unending process. Unending process means it will continue for a long period of time. This unending process can be explained through the help of process of motivation. So the process of motivation starts from unfulfilled needs, wants and drives. So what these unfulfilled needs and wants are? These unfulfilled needs and wants can basically be categorized into two categories. One is innate, primary and biogenic needs. Innate, primary and biogenic needs are those needs which are primary to the individual and are related to physiology of the individual. Their supply is positive. If they are positive, their supply is required. If they are negative, they can be avoided. However, they are necessary for the species maintenance. On the other hand, another type of needs are acquired, secondary or psychogenic needs. These needs are generally acquired from the environment. People learn from the family or from the external environment, and these needs are generally maintained either to defend our ego or to bolster our ego or to maintain some kind of affectional relationships. So a main aim of marketer is to make people identify that these needs are unmet. Once these unmet needs are identified, they create tension in the mind of individual that needs must be satisfied, and this tension drives the individual to behave in a certain way. So this behavior is again moderated by two variables. First is his previous learning, then his cognitive processes. Previous learning can be from his own personal experience. It can also come from the other people, the experience of other people, maybe his family members, maybe his friends and colleagues. Similarly, his cognitive processes, which means his ability to evaluate, his ability to reason, this will also influence his behavior. This behavior will lead to goal fulfillment and need fulfillment. If the need is fulfilled, the tension will be reduced. It never happens that needs are totally satisfied. Tension reduces for a period of time. After a certain period of time, this tension again arises, and this process goes in a cyclical format. This is the reason why we call motivation as an unending process. So in terms of consumer behavior, these needs can be again categorized into two more categories. One is utilitarian needs, another are hedonic needs. Utilitarian needs are those needs that are related to utility of the individual or utility of the product. For example, when we are buying any antifreezer, when we are buying any kind of equipment, any kitchen equipment, these are utilitarian needs. These needs generally arise from rational motives of the individual. This is the reason why the products related to utilitarian needs and advertisements related to utilitarian needs are depicted in black, grey, blue or green colors. Similarly, hedonic needs are related to hedonism, that is dark side of personality. These are more related to fun and entertainment. For example, buying an ice cream, buying a perfume, going to a restaurant, going to a nightclub. These kind of products and services are generally related to fun and entertainment, and these arise from the emotional motives of the individual. And this is the reason why you can say attractive color schemes are used to develop ads as well as products, such as red color, pink color, purple or yellow color. So these are the basic unmet needs that leads to motivation, and that motivation leads to a behavior which may result into buying a product or doing a certain action which was required by the company or marketer. Next are the theories of motivation. Basic theories of motivation can be divided into three categories. First is drive theory, then expectancy theory, then need hierarchy theory. First is drive theory. Drive theory is based on homeostasis, that is biological equilibrium in the mind of individuals. So drive theory explains that like a thermostat or an air conditioner, the body tries to maintain homeostasis, the natural state of body system, their goals, drives, arousals in balance. Whenever a drive is aroused, this imbalance happens and the body turns to behave differently. That is termed in physiology or psychology as imbalance or disequilibrium in homeostasis. However, whenever this drive is satisfied, the balance is restored and the relevant behavior is turned off. This homeostasis mechanism acts as a molecular parent using rewards and punishments to restore homeostasis. So, in the process of homeostasis, first there is always an equilibrium. This balance is disturbed due to a rise of some biological needs such as hunger or thirst. Whenever you will feel hungry or thirsty, this will create a drive in your mind, that is tension in your mind that you should satisfy this need, and you will be motivated to do certain action in order to satisfy that needs. Here is where marketers advertise the products in order to mold your behavior to buy their products. And once the goal directed behavior is done, the action is performed, the drive reduces and the need is satisfied. The need satisfaction lead again the restored balance in homeostasis, which means again in an equilibrium position. And whenever the again biological need arises, the balance is again disturbed, and this process goes in a cyclical format. So this was drive theory. This is the example of how companies use drive theory in order to motivate individuals to buy their products and services. Next theory is expectancy theory or valence expectancy theory. This theory was given by Victor Room. This theory is a process-based theory, and this theory explains motivation much differently from drive theory. While drive theory explains that we are motivated to drink, eat and sleep to reduce the tensions against unmet needs, that is hunger, thirst or tidiness. Expectancy theory explains motivations where individual derived outcomes can be achieved through an effort or performance. According to Victor Room, individual's motivation to put forth more or less efforts depends upon his rational calculation in which individual evaluates the situation, that whether he should perform the behavior or not. While evaluating the situation, he asked three questions to himself. These three questions are asking for valence, then expectancy and instrumentality. So what these three components are? First is expectancy. Expectancy is effort performance relationship. It is a probability model where persons believe that high level of efforts will lead to desired outcome. If the person believes that his efforts will lead to desired level of outcomes, his value will approach to 1. However, if he believes that his efforts will not lead to desired level of performance, then his value will lead to 0. This perception is labeled as expectancy. For example, do you believe that efforts you put forth in class is related to performing well in class? If you do, you are more likely to put more efforts. So next is instrumentality. It is the degree to which a person believes that his performance is related to subsequent outcomes, that is performance reward relationships. If a person believes that doing any action will lead to certain kind of rewards, then he will do that action, otherwise he will not. For example, do you believe that getting good grades in class will lead to good rewards such as getting good job? If your outcome towards this is more positive, your instrumentality is positive, the value will be more close to 1. It means the motivation will be high. Last is valence. Valence is attraction and repulsion towards an outcome. Individual is also concerned about the value of reward that he is getting out of the efforts that he is putting. If the value is positive to him and is high to him, then his balance will be high and he will be more motivated to do certain action. For example, do you value getting better job or getting approval from your instructor, friends and parents? If the balance is high, in those cases your whole set of motivation will also be high. Since it is a multiplier model, so valence, expectancy and instrumentality should always be more than 1. If they are less than 1 or if it approaches to 0, the whole motivation will be low. In any of the case, if any of these component goes to 0, it means the whole motivation will also goes to 0. So this was expectancy model. Next is need hierarchy theory. Need hierarchy theory, very well known in the field of psychology, was given by Abraham Maslow, who introduced his concept in 1943 in his paper titled A Theory of Human Motivation. And again, he subsequently published a book on it, that is Motivation and Personality. What this theory basically says, according to this theory, an individual has a certain set of needs and these needs goes in hierarchy. The individual fulfills the basic needs first and then he goes to next level of needs in the hierarchy, and when those needs are satisfied, then he goes to next level. So hierarchy suggests that people are motivated to fulfill basic needs before moving to any more advanced needs. So what these basic needs are? These needs are basically divided into 5 categories: physiological needs, safety needs, love and belongingness needs, esteem needs, and last is self-actualization. First, physiological needs. These are the basic or biological needs of the individual, like need for water when you are thirsty, need for food when you are hungry. According to Maslow, some of these needs involve more efforts in order to move the body into homeostasis position. This is maintaining a consistent level of bodily systems. For example, you want to maintain body's temperature. Maslow considered physiological needs to be most essential in all the needs. If any of this need is lacking, that means the individual will not go to any further stage and he will put more and more efforts in order to fulfill this basic need. Once this need is fulfilled, then he will move to next stage. Next is safety needs. Our safety needs are apparent even early in childhood. As children have a need for safe and predictable environment and typically react with fear and anxiety when these needs are not met. So Maslow considers that safety and security needs arises whenever the basic needs are fulfilled. Once those needs are fulfilled, person try to achieve secure life. This can be either through either getting insurances from any kind of risks in his life, or developing a good house, living in a good society, so that he should feel safe and secure. Maslow pointed out that that adults living in developed countries have more safety needs. However, these safety needs are disturbed when there is any emergency kind of situation. So this is generally met through buying any kind of insurances or contributing to bank accounts. Next is need for love and belongingness. This need includes having long-term relationships with friends, family, and other social beings. It includes our need to feel that we belong to a social group. Importantly, this need encompasses feeling love and feeling love towards others. So this is the feeling of self-connectionness. People who have fulfilled their basic needs as well as safety needs, they will try to establish good relationship with the other people so that they should be valued in the society. Next is esteem needs. Esteem needs involves desire to feel good about ourselves. This need can basically divided into 2 categories. One is feeling self-confidence and feeling good about ourselves, that is for our own well-being. Another component involves feeling valued by others, that is feeling that our achievements and contributions have been recognized by others. When people's esteem needs are met, they feel confident and see their contribution and achievements are valuable and important. People who have already fulfilled their social needs, so, they try to achieve their esteem needs. They should be valued in the society, they should be respected in the society, they should have some designation in the society. So these are esteem needs. Last is self-actualization need. Self-actualization need is feeling fulfilled, or you can say feeling that we are living up to our full potential. This need arises only when all the other needs are met. This need generally involves people achieving their trying to explore their potential and trying to fulfill their potential. However, the term potential is very subjective. So our one unique feature of self-actualization is that it is different for every individual. People who are serving the society, they may feel that serving society is self-actualization. People who are doing any kind of meditation or for their self-consciousness, they may feel that that is their last stage of need fulfillment. However, people who are creating, doing some creative activities, doing some art or any other kind of activity, they may also feel that potential. They are able to achieve their full potential. So, self-actualization is, you can say, basically subjective in nature. It is very difficult to identify the person has achieved self-actualization need or not. Essentially, self-actualization means feeling that we are doing what we believe we are meant to be. According to Maslow, achieving self-actualization is relatively rare. His example of famous self-actualized individuals include Abraham Lincoln, Albert Einstein, and Mother Teresa. So these are the basic 5 needs of Maslow need hierarchy. However, these needs are also criticized by different researchers who put forth their own researches. So the first criticism is that needs do not follow the hierarchy. There are a number of examples where people whose basic needs were not fulfilled, but they were able to achieve self-actualization. You can take the example of Mahatma Gandhi, you can take the example of Martin Luther King, who were able to achieve their self-actualization, though their basic needs of food, safety, security, love, belongingness were not achieved. So Baba and Bridwell reported that there is little evidence that Maslow's ranking of these needs, and even less evidence that these needs are in hierarchy order or not. Last is, this theory is difficult to test. Whether a person has been able to achieve his basic needs, whether he is in esteem needs, or whether he is in self-actualization need, it is very difficult to identify at which stage he is in current position. In certain cases, it may also be there a person is following 2-3 needs that are in hierarchy in Maslow. However, he is following 2-3 needs in simultaneously. For example, a person also wants respect in the society. Along with that, he is also doing too much in order to achieve his basic safety and security needs. So this overlapping of hierarchy is also possible. His research on self-actualization was also based on very limited sample of individuals whose biography he personally read, and people who find that they are famous. However, there are a number of people whose basic needs were not fulfilled, and even they were able to achieve higher level of needs. And the last theory in this whole process is need theory. Need theory explains that there are basic 3 types of needs in the individual. First is need for power, then need for affiliation, and then need for achievement. Need for power, it refers to individual's desire to control the environment and things around him that impels a person to perform a behavior. People having high need for power try to control the behavior of other people that are surrounding them. For example, the people who go with you when you are going for shopping, having high need for power, they mold your purchase behavior by telling you that this product is better than the others. Next is need for affiliation. It refers to the need for friendship, acceptance, belongingness, and love that impels a person to perform the behavior. People having high need for affiliation try to get social acceptance from others. Their buying decisions as well as service availing ability generally depends upon the group acceptance of the other fellow beings. Last is need for affiliation. It refers to the need of personal accomplishment and closely related to egoistic self-actualization needs to motivate the individual to perform a behavior. People having high need for achievement generally try to buy products that are unique in the market, or those that are not bought by anyone in the market. So this is the example of people who buy the products having high need for achievement. Companies try to showcase their products that these are meant for people having high need for achievement. And the last is this is the example of need for affiliation. People having high need for affiliation will generally try to buy products who showcase the people in relationships. So these were the basic theories of motivation and all about motivation. Thank you.